Hi, this is Mark from Right Line Trading, and I wanted to review um, our trading record for today, and also show you, and that will include looking at gold, crude, and the Russell. And I also wanted to show you some of the setups that we didn't get because we were trading one instrument while another instrument triggered in. And just show you the enormous amount of absolutely fabulous trades that the system offers you as a day trader or swing trader. Now, we're not in the room this early, but if you look right here at 746.39, this is a first pivot C. Gorgeous trade above the 50. Right line trend line is pushing up hard. You look down. Stochastic momentum and order flow are either green or blue. You're in one tick above the close of the candle, and you have this beautiful trade here. Now, I'm not even going to put a tick count on it because we didn't trade it. Now, it would have stopped you out and given you another C, only we don't trade second pivot Cs. It's part of our rules, so we're not even going to look at that. Now, the market then falls between the modified 15 and the 50. And what we get here is a power entry. Power entries are our version of reversal trades. They usually come against order flow, stochastic, and momentum because this deep retracement, you have this big uptrend, then you get this retracement back down to the 50 is enough to turn them. But the power signal shows you that when it hits strong support, the uptrend remains intact. And this is a candle that shows a significant amount of buying enthusiasm. It engulfs the previous candle. The right line trend line is flat, and it's important. We don't want that moving against us. You're in one tick above the close of the candle, and you have trade number two. No other signals here. Nothing to cause you to get stopped out or to lose a trade. We then move over. Now this again is right before the room opened. This is trade number three, winner number three. There's your C. It's slightly aggressive. It's not a 2/3 candle close above the 50, but you've got order flow, stochastic, and momentum in your favor. The right line trend line is green. Structurally, it's a very nice setup. It may be a little bit aggressive. If you don't take it on this candle, you can take it on the next candle. Up you go for just a gorgeous trade. Now this is your first pivot C. The second pivot C, I don't know if it would have worked. I think it came back 9 on you, and then it would have been successful either way. It's not a tradable setup. Actually, it is. Since we have two down candles here, and I want to put in the losers if we have them as well as the winners, we then start a new uptrend. So this is a tradable C. Your entry would be one tick above the close. The close is 1323.8. You'd be in at 23.9. The low is 23.0. Came back 9. Did not stop you out. Would have given you a lot of sweat, but that's a valid trade setup and another winner. I believe that's 4 winners now in a row without a bad signal. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, let's continue to move here. Um, Here is a short, a gorgeous short at 8, 10, 20. B pivot, first C, I'm sorry, with a momentum signal. Order flow stochastic momentum, orange or red, 30 ticks. Comes back up, power entry, intact downtrend. Gorgeous setup. Nice retracement back into the 15, power entry down, 20 ticks. We're up 50 ticks. Now, we don't trade any of this because the right line trend line is yellow, and we just don't trade a yellow trend line. Now, none of these signals are tradable. Now, this is a signal that if you're very, very careful, you could potentially take this. The reason you would not take it is it's in this swing pivot. Now, I don't believe the swing pivot was here. Either way, we missed this signal. But this is a great momentum signal short. The system actually trades a lot better than I do because I'm trying to watch the Russell, gold, and crude. So there are trades that just get past me. Now, we don't take this power entry. It's on a yellow trend line. If we did, we would have had a huge winner. It also came with order flow asymmetry, but we're very conservative traders. This would have been a huge move to the downside, but adhering to our very, very specific rules, we just don't take that trade. Now, I believe, let me see here, we're going to wind up with our first loser, which is this C. And unfortunately, I think it comes up and stops us out right here. Let me make sure. I'm pretty sure that's more than a 10 tick retracement. We have a 10 tick stop. The close is 1301.2. We begin at 01. And this goes to a high. This is 1.6. And we would be in at a close. Now it looks to me like it's a stop out. I mean, this is 8, 9, 10. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble doing this. We'd be in at 1301.1. This high is 1302.4, so it would have stopped us out. So this is a loser. So we finally come up with a loser after, I think, 5 winners in a row. Now let's continue to trade the Russell. I'm sorry, to trade gold. We already have $50 ticks in the bag. We wind up with 1 loser, and we're just going to count it as a 10 tick loser. So we have 40 ticks. There's our loser right here. Now we don't take the C, it's a second pivot C. None of these are tradable signals. They're all taking place into the trend line. We don't trade into it, and we don't go long below the 50. So by our rules, none of these are tradable setups. It's very simple. Here's our next setup. We didn't take it because we didn't see it. I'm not even going to calculate the number of ticks, but there's another gorgeous winner. Now this is all taking place early in the morning. It's 8:38. Now gold started to move like a rocket ship because there was an announcement in the European Union about their monetary policy. So it's very hard to trade throughout here. It got very choppy, and we had to stand aside. But then we got this beautiful 30 tick trade long, 36 tick trade long, gorgeous setup. Here's your C. There was no pivot here at the time. Order flow momentum and stochastic are in your favor. It was kind of the kind of trade that we've come to see is just really going to be not a question of whether it's a winner, but how much you're going to make on the trade. Then couple of people in the room were short here. I didn't take it. It was a good setup. Now here was a great B, and here's your C, which took you up to here. Can't trade a second pivot or third pivot B. Didn't see it. Then we had a small 6 tick winner. And I think that was our day for crude. So on crude we had 6. I'm sorry, on gold we had 6, 36, which is 42, 92 ticks. We had one loss, which cost us 10 for 82 ticks. And that included multiple missed opportunities. Very, very conservative missed opportunities. Let's go to crude oil. Crude oil was just a wonderful market to trade today. It can be challenging, but we'll start right here. My first trade on crude oil was a nice big fat loser. It was a little aggressive with the right line trend line above the 50. We'd like it to be below. Also, I had stochastic against me. So this was sort of an aggressive trade. Also, it was into a pivot that's no longer here. It was a bad trade. I shouldn't have taken it. It wasn't a bad system call. It was a bad call on my part. And the first trade on crude oil turned out to be a nice kick in the pants for a 10 tick loss. And then I missed 2 enormous trading opportunities here, whoops, and here. Very, very conservative, easy entries to take. The C down. I'm sorry, this was not tradable. It's a second pivot, and we don't trade second pivot Cs. So this was the only pivot we could take. I do believe this came back 10. Let me see. The low is 36. Oh, this can't be right. The low of this candle is 36. The high of this candle is 47. So it did take us out by 1 tick. So that was the extent of that move. Then we had a great power entry, good for 24 ticks. Again, counter trend. Slope of the 50 was fabulous. Showed tremendous negative market sentiment. We know that this deep retracement is going to turn the 3 line against us, but the power entry worked great, give us 24 ticks. Came back, same setup again. Another retracement into a downtrend. Power entry signal. This one was even a better setup structurally because it came off the 50, which acted as great support, and it broke the modified 15. And down we went for 27 ticks. We had a 3-line break. You can see the candles outlined in blue. It shows that order flow, stochastic, and momentum are with us. 2/3 candle close or greater. Very modest trade for 7 ticks. Somebody in the room called this long. It was a great long. I didn't get it. Then we had this really beautiful 26 tick C candle to the downside. This trade was a power entry below the 50, below the 15. The right line trend line was red. It was a little bit aggressive because if you look, you can see that order flow and momentum are against us, and this is not a deep retracement. It went 5 ticks. We need 6 ticks for our first target. When it went 5, and then it went 4, then it went 3, then 4, then 5. I just recommended that everyone move their stop to break even. And sure enough, it came right back. And instead of giving us our 6th tick and our first target, it hit our break even. And we wound up with a push. I don't know if there was anything else. This is another great trade. I mean, there were so many trading opportunities today that really it really overwhelmed me. And there's another long, great trade. Now I counted up 116 ticks of profit on crude oil. Trading this chart extremely conservatively. Now I'm going to drag over the Russell. And I'm going to do that, and I'm going to review that fairly quickly. Because we really didn't take many trades off the Russell because trying to watch gold and crude at the same time is really a challenge. But the Russell, just like yesterday, just offered one fabulous trading setup after the other. I mean, stunning setups. And I really want you to take note of the fact that the system gives you just rare short calls. I mean, rare unsuccessful calls. Here's a power entry. Meets all our criteria. Below the 50, below the 15. You can see that in this one you have stochastic and momentum with you, although order flow is turned. We know that may happen on a retracement. Downtrend is still intact. Nice move to the downside. I'm not even going to calculate it out. I don't want this video to extend out too long. Now this is a real deep push to the downside. It didn't really come off of any tradable signal. That happens. You can't catch everything. But then you get this terrific C after the pullback. And you get this nice piece of it. Not a huge piece, but a conservative chunk of the trade. Now here was a power entry we would not take off of a yellow trend line. But it was an amazing trade to the downside. But we don't trade them. Now we got multiple signals here, and you see why. If you would have gotten this one actually I think would have given you a first target. This one would have stopped you out. This just fell without a signal. And actually, I already looked at this. Here's our first pivot C. Doesn't look like much here. It's actually a really nice trade. I know it was well over 10 ticks right here. And here we go again. Bread and butter, C, below the 50, below the 15, heading down. Order flow momentum stochastic, either red or orange. I mean, I feel like I'm becoming a broken record, but you can just see the enormous number of tradable setups offered up by crude oil, the Russell, and gold. Now, we are going to alarm the bees. So they're going to give us the heads up on when we have a potential C, which I think is extremely important because part of missing some of the trades when you're trading multiple markets is not catching the B, which tells you there's a potential C coming. This is going to reduce the number of trades that are missed significantly. The number of ticks we made today, I know, could have easily be doubled and possibly even been tripled if we were able to capture almost all of the successful trading signals that the software had to offer. Now, I know a lot of you are going to see this well after the fact, but today is is November 7th. It's a Thursday. Tomorrow at 1 o'clock, we are having a free webinar. And all you have to do is go to www.rightlinetrading.com, send us a contact request, and we will send you a link to the webinar. And we're also offering the software at a promotional price if you attend the webinar. I think this is the most outstanding software offered on the internet or anywhere else for that matter. It respects order flow, stochastic, momentum, market structure. I mean, all the components that are required to keep you out of trades and chop and get you the bread and butter trend trades are there. And this really, really does keep you safe. When the market isn't set up for a trade, you're sitting on your hands. You're not trying to chase chop, static, lack of follow through. So hopefully I'll see you at the webinar, and you'll think about checking out our product. You're welcome to call us here anytime. Let me put up the website for you. And our number is 1-855-765-6681. It's toll free. Speak to anyone here. You can speak to me. My name is Mark, and I am the original creator of the software, Leo, our tech guy who's really in the process of revamping it, or anybody else here. So hope you have a great afternoon, and I hope to hear from you. Take care.